Hello and welcome back to LENGO Talks, a show powered by LENGO Africa. I am your host, Natasha Shisoka, and I am joined today by Winnie Tanui. Winnie, could you please introduce yourself?
Asante sana. So my name is Winnie Tanui. I'm a trainer, a career coach at LENGO Africa Training and Coaching.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on our previous episode, if you watched our previous episode, we talked about soft skills. Yeah. And Winnie defined soft skills as power skills, core skills that enable you to interact with your coworkers or even your clients. They are basically interpersonal skills. And then we mentioned a few examples, such as communication skills, leadership skills, critical thinking, among others. And then on today's episode, we are going to talk about leadership skills. So Winnie, do you mind explaining to us what exactly are leadership skills?
Thanks. So to begin with, for us at LENGO, we're always very keen to talk about self-leadership before you become a leader. We believe you have to lead yourself before you lead others. Yeah. And we actually have a training sessions we run several times in a year, and we run for companies called self-leadership at work. And work here doesn't mean where you're employed. It could also mean where your business, where you're working. So I think critical for us as LENGO, we think leadership starts from you being a leader. Yeah. So it starts with self-leadership before you go to leading other people. Yeah.
Okay. So what is self-leadership at work or in your business?
Yes. So actually, self-leadership is about leading yourself. Sounds a bit, because you're wondering, why am I leading myself? Because we always think of leadership as leading others, showing others the way. But I think the most important thing is to lead yourself. So self-leadership is actually about influencing yourself. And I want to say it's influencing three things. Well, I want to call them influencing your cup of tea, where the word tea is not tea, the cup of tea, but it's about your thoughts, it's about your emotions and your action. That means being deliberate about what you think, about your emotions, what you feel, and your action. So for me, that is what self-leadership is: leading yourself first, and it is your cup of tea.
Okay.
Yes.
So you lead yourself before you can lead other people, right?
Yes.
So what are some of the examples of self-leadership skills?
Yeah, so self-leadership still goes back to our soft skills. And here there's a quote somebody said, and I can quote, it says, all human beings are self-leaders. However, not all self-leaders are effective at self-leading. Means, actually, this is a guy called Mans in 1983.
Okay.
Meaning, all of us should actually be leading ourselves. The challenge is not all of us know we need to lead ourselves. And then it means few of us really are leading ourselves. So we don't think about what we think. We don't think about what we feel, our emotions. And then we also don't think about what we do. Yeah. That is our actions. So self-leadership, I believe, is the first facet of everything. It starts with leading the person called you. So it has so many things about you. To lead yourself, then you need to know who you are really. There's that question of who am I? Why am I here? It's a question of purpose, but it's also, I think, a very critical question. Even, why are you coming to work? Have you ever answered? Is it only to earn a living? Yeah. So if it's to earn a living, is this the best way to earn a living where I'm working now? So have you ever answered the question why? So I believe one of them, the critical aspects of self-leadership is self-awareness. Know who you are. Other things like motivation. Why are you coming? What makes you feel happy? Why are you coming to work? What are some of the things that really excite you? Decision making. How do you make your decisions? Dedication. Your influence, empathy. So all those things about the person you is what we call self-leadership. Yes.
Okay. So how do you master yourself as a leader?
As a self-leader?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I said it is actually the three things: the cup of tea, the thoughts, how you think, how you feel, and action, because your action stems from your emotions. And somebody defined emotions as thoughts with energy. And that is why when you feel something, the actions come really, that's why like something like anger is a feeling. And what does anger results in? Very, very serious actions. Either you will want to fight somebody, because now it has given you the force. So it's important to be aware of your thoughts, what you think, what you feel. And what you feel is actually very deep. And actually many other things people do, especially the wrong things, is fed by emotions. So as a person, it is important to take time. And that's why I always feel the person you is actually a very serious project that you need time to really think, develop, and understand.
Okay. So how do you apply your self-leadership skills at work or maybe in your business?
So it is all about, I think it's all about really why you are there. Why are you doing the job you're doing? How is it important to you? And that is the reason I think many people are disconnected with work, because work and them, it's like they are two separate entities. You should go to do something that really gives you more than money. Because when you just work for money, it is okay, it's good to work to earn a living and keep yourself alive, but I believe that is basic, that is survival. But then there's more about what you love. What are you expressing? What do you want to achieve? What do you want the world to be different now that you're here? Because at the end of the day, we have to know it is this world is actually a composition of individuals. It's the world, the family, even the family, then organization is the sum total of individuals in that family. A family is as good as the people in that family, or as bad as the people in that family. An organization, the same thing. It's as good or as bad as the people. So people are critical. And people in this case, we are talking about the person. You as the person there, really, what are you contributing? How are you making this place? So it is now important to really go to work and even live in a family in a way that expresses who you are. Yes. And I think that is the critical bit about self-leadership. And some of the advantage of a well self-led person, if you're good at self-leadership, if you're well self-led, I think so, it makes you more effective, more productive. It keeps you motivated and you feel more accountable. It helps you build strong relationship with your co-workers and your customers, and it inspires others to follow you. Actually, they say the greatest leaders in the world, what we call servant leadership, are people who understand their why, and their why is answered by the people who have answered the question why am I doing what I'm doing, are the people who understand self-leadership. Yes.
And to be a great leader, like, you need to do something yourself so that others can follow whatever you're doing,
actually, right? And even for children and even everybody, people learn. People learn better by looking. You cannot, it's hard to teach people. People just learn. And you see how that is even how we learned when we were young, actually. You see, interestingly, how we run our lives and why self-leadership, I think, is important. I don't know if we said this last week, but I think it's just important to repeat again. Why this self-leadership is important is all of us are products of our environment. When we were young, before we were 7 years old, we learned a lot from our environment. And these are especially the caregivers, the parents at home, the family you were brought up. You learned everything by observing. And that time you're just observing, keeping, learning and keeping. And by the time you're 7 years old, you have so much programs. That is the time now you've known how to talk, you've known how to walk, you can control yourself a little bit. The tantrums of 2. You see why people say the terrible 2. A terrible 2 just wants to do what they want to do. You cannot live like that because you have to gel into the society. Okay, your needs are important, but the needs of your neighbor are also important. So all of us have to control ourselves in such a way that we can be a community. But now what happens by the time you're 7? You've been too over-socialized with your environment. You've picked so much from environment that all the programs are environment programs that you're using to run your life and nothing about you. And that is the reason I think many of us get lost along the way. So it is more of the socialization aspect of life. It's a good thing, but the good thing also has great disadvantage. Usually the person you gets lost in the process. And that is why you need to come out one day and start thinking about how the self-leadership is going back to really you. Okay, it's good to be in a society, to gel well. But you see, many of us gel so much in the society that we forget who you are.
Yeah.
So that you're just doing things. Our life is almost, we are not living a life of goals. We are always reacting. That's why we always get annoyed. Why did somebody, because now you are living a life of reaction. People say this, you react. People, that's why people want to do something, but you have to go and ask so many people, do you think this is right? It's good to console, but at the end of the day, if you leave people to make decisions for you, then what are you for?
Oh yeah.
What are you for?
Sure.
Because now, and you see, the thing you need to know as yourself as an individual is that you are a unique piece of art of the creator. The creator went into great lengths to make you unique. You know, there's nobody who looks like you, even your twin sister or your twin brother. Why? I think and nature is very deliberate about uniqueness. Do you know, even leaves, two normal leaves, there's no leaf that looks like another leaf. From a tree, they look similar. But if you go close, you realize everything is unique. A blade of grass is very unique. Every grass is unique. It might be same, even in the same branch. Ukienda kuangalia, you'd realize they're different. Why? Because I think nature is deliberate about uniqueness. And the problem is how we socialize ourselves as communities. That's why the word communion. We are together. When we lose individuality, then we lose a lot. So self-leadership, I think, is critical to go back to the person you. Yes, I'm a member of society, but the question is, I am a member of society because I need to contribute to the well-being of society. But if I am lost, then I am not useful. And that's why you said great leaders actually are self-led leaders, because they understand their role in the organization or in the community. Once you understand your place, then you can rise to your uniqueness. So I think that is the most important thing about self-leadership. Yeah.
Okay. So why should employees be trained on self-leadership skills?
Oh yes, because it is important for people to understand that they need to lead themselves. Why? Because the 21st century workplace, even marketplace, is a very unique place. You know, initially people used to work, the work has continued changing from the time before what we were calling in history industrial revolution. People used to be working all by themselves. Like in the story, even in the Bible, we know Jesus and his father were carpenters. So it was normal in those days, when you're born in a family of carpenters, you pick carpentry. So work was almost in families. So if you're builders, you keep on picking that. But when industrial revolution came in, people needed to be trained to go and work in factories. And I think for us now, so as work changes in the 21st century now, it is about teamwork and collaboration. This is the 21st century workplace requires that you understand your place of contribution. If it's not clear to you really what you're doing there, then you will not survive in your workplace. So it is critical for you to really be self-aware and be a self-led person and understand, why am I coming here every day? What is my contribution? And not only that, understand that your contribution is important. And I always like to use the example of a vehicle. When you're driving a vehicle, what would you say is the most important part of a vehicle? Is it the battery? Is it the engine?
Maybe the steering. Because you need to control the car.
Yeah, but now, what if you have the steering working and the engine is not working?
Okay.
Yeah. Even a battery. The battery of a car, I think it costs about around 10,000 or 9,000. But imagine if your battery is flat one morning, you wake up and you realize your battery is flat. Imagine your whole car wouldn't go to work. So I believe because if even you try to analyze, sometimes it is just this automatic key locks. The battery, which I think is 200 bob, if it is not working, you cannot unlock your car. And you can go. So for me, I want to look at the modern workplace as a working machine where there's nobody who is more important
than the other person. So basically, everyone has a role.
Everyone is important. So there's no way you can say, Mimi, I'm just a cleaner, so I'm not important. Imagine if people came to work and the office is dirty. Do they work?
Not really.
So at the end of the day, your contribution matters. And the reason why we want you to understand that you need to be self-led is that the role you're doing, you need to do it in such a way that you are leading in that role, so that you are almost like a CEO of cleaning. Nobody needs to come and follow you and tell you you didn't clean well. If you're the driver in the office, you should drive or work in that vehicle in such a way that you are the CEO of the car. So everybody is important. So I think the 21st century presents a very interesting, I think it's a good opportunity, because it gives everybody an opportunity to shine. You can be an excellent office cleaner. You can be an excellent CEO. You can be an excellent accountant. And I think that is the importance of self-leadership. So your role is important. Then now you need to excel at your role. Yeah.
I think self-leadership is quite important, and it enables people in a work setting or in a business setting, to relate well with their co-workers and maybe their clients. And honestly, I think we should dive deeper into the self-leadership skills and self-awareness. So Winnie, what are your final thoughts?
Yeah, for me, actually, I feel a very strong proponent of self-leadership. I feel it's a skill we all need to learn, because we are all leaders in our unique way. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you so much, Winnie, for giving us the knowledge and everything. And thank you to our viewer for watching this video. And if you got here, kindly subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any episode. Also, leave a like and leave a comment, and see you in the next episode.